Chapter 91, Worship me as a teacher and have everything you want. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Swish. Xiao Ba disappeared in front of Su Ba in an instant, and immediately came to Su Ba, reaching out to grab him. Su Ba was taken aback. Zhuyang's true essence surged wildly. Without even thinking about it, Lei Guang Bai launched. ZZ. When the lightning flashed, the person flashed more than 10 meters away, and a phantom left on the spot was grabbed by Xiao Bang in the next instant. What? Xiao Bao was slightly stunned. This kid actually escaped his attack, even though he was just doing it at will, with less than 1% of his strength. It was not something that the disciples of the inner palace could dodge casually. Immediately, Xiao Bao quickly thought of something. Suddenly turn around. His face was overjoyed, and his voice was like a bell. Boy, wasn't that the martial arts artistic conception in Leiguang illusory body step, the high-grade movement technique of Xuanjie just now? Xiao Bang looked at Su Ba with burning eyes and said loudly. Yes. Su Ba didn't hide it either. He nodded slightly, and while he was talking, he glanced at Hu Danqing, who seemed to be asking who this old man was. Hu Danqing has not spoken yet. Ha ha ha, good. As expected, he is indeed a natural martial arts genius. In just 1 month after entering the inner palace, he has practiced the high-grade body technique of the Xian rank to the highest level, and even comprehended the artistic conception. Xiao Bao laughed, and the more he looked at Su Ba, the more satisfied he became. Boy, don't be nervous. Just now, this old man just saw that your body was full of blood, and your bones were like casts. Hey, lie in the trough. Just as Xiao Bao was talking, he suddenly noticed Su Ba's cultivation and couldn't help but utter a foul language. Good boy, you actually reached the early stage of 6-star cultivation. Xiao Bang took a deep breath, and seemed to be frightened by Su Ba. The disciple spent a month in high-intensity training outside, and it's just breaking through a big realm. It's not worth mentioning. At this time, Su Ba also noticed the purple waist card on the waist of the black-clothed old man, which means that this is an elder-level figure of Yunmeng Wufu, and he may not be an ordinary elder. But knowing that is one thing, Su Ba said with a calm expression, neither humble nor arrogant, but what he said was too pretentious. If it were an ordinary person, Xiao Bao would have beaten him with a big mouth long ago. Pretending to be forceful, and daring to pretend to be forceful in front of Lao Tzu, he would be tired and crooked. But at this moment, Xiao Bao laughed loudly, and his whole face began to glow red. A good one will break through a big realm. Crazy enough, I like it. This is the confidence and arrogance that a peerless genius should have. Xiao Bao looked at Su Ba with his eyes, like he was looking at a perfect treasure. The next second, Xiao Bao's eyes were bright and he said loudly to Su Ba. Boy, take me as a teacher. I can give you anything you want, the best exercises, the best resources, the best weapons, as many as you want, as long as you are my apprentice of Xiao Bao. Why not? Sample. Those surnamed Xiao, don't go too far. Hu Danqing's face was ugly, and he finally found a space to interject and said. Why, surnamed Hu, are you still stubborn? Xiao Bao's face sank. You have also seen Su Ba's talent in martial arts. If you learn pills from you, you will definitely lose the world, a future top powerhouse. What does it mean to Yunmeng Wufu and Fengwu Nation? I miss you the most. Hu Danqing was thinking about this just now, but now Xiao Bao mentioned it, and he struggled in his heart. It is not easy to find a good apprentice these days, and it is even more difficult to find a good apprentice with amazing talent. But Su Ba obviously has better martial arts talent than alchemy talent. This. Chapter 92. Sorry, I can't do it. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hu Danqing took a deep breath and turned to look at Su Ba. Su Ba, what Elder Xiao said also makes sense. It would be a pity if you wasted your martial arts talent. Elder Xiao is not only the #1 expert in Yunmeng Wufu, but also the #1 expert in Fengwu country. And like you, he uses a stick, and worshipping him as a teacher will definitely help you a lot. Hu Danqing looked away as he spoke, and looked at Su Ba and continued. It's okay, you switch to Elder Xiao, and I have nothing to say. In the future, Su Ba, if you want to learn alchemy, you can still come to me. Hu Danqing also thought of Su Ba wholeheartedly. That's right, Elder Hu. Xiao Bao was in a good mood, so he changed his name to Hu Danqing and called him Elder Hu. Immediately, Xiao Bao turned his head and looked at Su Ba Dao with a smile. Su Ba, like this, you should have a choice. Good birds live on wood, only I can make your martial arts progress to the next level in a short time. As for you want to make alchemy, you have time to cultivate it. Sentiment will do. Su Ba listened to them quietly, and then nodded lightly. I know what I have, and I have already chosen. Xiao Bao laughed complacently and looked at Su Ba Dao with satisfaction. Boy, your choice is correct, follow this old man, make sure you are delicious and spicy, your strength is stronger, and you have nothing. With hardcore strength in hand, you can walk in the world, Hu Danqing looked lonely and sighed softly. At this time, Su Ba spoke, and he said calmly, Sorry, Elder Xiao, I have no idea of switching to his teacher for the time being. What? The smile on Xiao Bao's mouth stopped, and he stared at Su Ba with wide eyes, as if he couldn't believe what he heard. Aside, Hu Danqing's body trembled, his eyes flickered, and he looked at Su Ba with some excitement. He said he didn't want to be Su Ba's master, that was a lie, but he didn't want to delay Su Ba's more outstanding martial arts talent, that's why he reluctantly gave up his love. Boy, what did you just say, tell me again. After returning to his senses, Xiao Ba stared at Su Ba with stubborn eyes, and spoke in a low voice. An inexplicable violent breath overflowed from his body, like a wild beast beginning to wake up. I said, I don't have the idea of joining another teacher for the time being. Facing Xiao Bao's violent aura, Su Ba did not change his expression, raised his head slightly, and said lightly, boom. Xiao Bang's violent aura burst out. The terrifying wind pressure of true essence blew Su Ba's jacket screeching. The square pillars of the entire Dan Pavilion Hall began to shake slightly, and some finely broken stone chips and wood kept falling from the top of the Dan Pavilion. However, Su Ba just put his hands on his back and stood quietly in front of Xiao Ba. The body is as strong as steel, really like a vigorous pine tree, with a strong resolute and unyielding aura, looking at Xiao Bang's furious eyes with pleasure and fear. Su Ba thought very clearly, he has a system, even if he doesn't take Xiao Bao as his teacher, he can still become the top powerhouse in the world. Although he worshipped Elder Hu as his teacher, he just did it casually, thinking that alchemy was a lucrative profession, and he could usually combine work and rest to earn a lot of resources by himself. But now, Su Ba is a good master, not to mention seeing Hu Danqing thinking of himself, even with the traditional virtues of respecting teachers and respecting Taoism in the previous life of Huaxia, he, Su Ba, will not judge teachers. He can't do it. A teacher for one day and a father for life. Su Ba is not just talking about it casually. Be true to your word, be worthy of your heart. Chapter 93. Give you a month. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Of course, most importantly. Does this guy want to use his aura to force him into submission? Oh, to dream. In his previous life, he was a famous martial arts master in China. He was brave and domineering. Relying on a pair of fists, he made a splendid name and was admired by thousands of people. His heart of martial arts is to go forward, and I am the only one. Even if you are the peak of the acquired cultivation base, so what? Yes. I can't beat you now. Don't be proud. In the future, believe it or not, you can't take care of your own life if you believe in Lao Tzu's abuse. Boom. A domineering arrogance emanated from Su Ba's body. He looked proud and did not give in. Xiao Bao's face was covered with clouds. The atmosphere in the Pill Pavilion Hall is getting more and more depressing, and there is a precursor to the coming violent storm. Hu Danqing couldn't help shouting. The surname is Xiao, you give me enough time. Boom. An extremely terrifying aura emanated from Xiao Bang's body like a hurricane, and the ground of the entire Pill Pavilion shook violently. Hu Danqing's expression changed, thinking that this irascible guy was going to make trouble, but the next second. A wild laughter echoed in the Dan pavilion for a long time. Boy, you are very good. After laughing wildly, Xiaobao restrained all his violent aura, looked at Su Ba's cold and resolute eyes and nodded in admiration. If you really change your master so easily, I'll look down on you. Now, you're making lousy even worse. Enjoy. But, Xiaobao squinted his eyes, snorted coldly, put down a cruel sentence and disappeared in the pill pavilion hall. Boy Suba, whether you want to be a teacher or not, it doesn't matter if you say it. I have finally waited for a genius disciple who fits me very well. How could it be so easy to let go? Listen carefully. If you can become a senior elder brother of the Nifu within a month, that is, reach the top of the list of outstanding people, I will not force you. Otherwise, you can be my apprentice obediently. Lao Tzu will also tie you up. There is no need to discuss. Looking at Xiao Bao's disappearing figure, Hu Danqing's beard was sloppy. If he hadn't been able to beat this bastard, he had to let this bastard know how powerful he was. Simply bullshit. 1 month to become a senior brother in the inner palace. This is actually a word that can be said. The surname is Xiao. It is clear that he wants to rob. I wipe. Seeing Hu Danqing's frantic appearance, Su Ba smiled lightly and said, "Don't worry, master, isn't there a month left?" But Su Ba, it's not that easy to become the #1 expert on the top talent list. I'll definitely give you time, but a month is too short, and now the top player on the top talent list, Wen Tianyu, is not a good guy. Hu Danqing frowned. His talent is very good. After entering the 7-star Grandmaster realm, he may be one of the top core disciples of Yunmeng Wufu, and he has the potential to hit the elite list of the 3 kingdoms in the Eastern District. Su Ba's expression was indifferent. It's good to be strong, but if you're weak, I'm boring. The light words, with an unparalleled confidence and domineering, Hu Danqing's body was shocked. He took a deep look at Su Ba, and took a deep breath. Su Ba, do you want to pursue the peak of martial arts? Yes. Su Ba didn't hide it and nodded. However, seeing Hu Danqing's eyes twinkling, he seemed a little tangled, and continued. Master, don't worry, I will study alchemy with my heart. As for martial arts, even if I am only one person, I am confident that I will be able to step on all the geniuses in the future. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, a month is a long time, and a short time is very short. I have to prepare well during this period. After this month passes, I will become the senior brother of the Nifu, and then I will learn alchemy from the master. Su Ba smiled lightly, clasped his fists and was about to retire. Hu Danqing breathed a sigh of relief, calmed down temporarily, and nodded with a reluctant smile. Suddenly. What did he think of? Good disciple, wait a minute. Chapter 94, Infinity Gathering Yuan Gong, True Yuan Soaring. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hearing Hu Danqing calling him, Su Ba turned around. What's the matter, master? I almost forgot. In the past month, I helped the master of other countries to refine a pot of 9th grade medicine pills for him. Well, I have already excerpted a copy for the teacher. This is for you, you can take it to practice. With that said, Hu Danqing took out an ink-white kung fu jade slip from the storage ring and handed it to Su Ba. The cultivation technique of the profound grades. Su Ba raised his eyebrows, and his heart was full of waves. After all, he has already practiced Zheoyang divine art, and ordinary exercises are useless to him. However, Su Ba still took it and glanced at it subconsciously. Boundless Gathering Yuan Gong, the special cultivation method of Xuanjie is of the highest quality. After practice, it can not only purify the true essence, but also greatly improve the total amount of true essence. There are 7 exercises in total. The first level of practice increases the total amount of real energy by 30%, the second level of practice increases the total amount of true energy by 70%. The 7th level of practice increases the total amount of true energy by 6 times. It was actually a special technique that could purify the true essence and increase the total amount of the true essence. Su Ba's eyes suddenly lit up. The 9-yang divine art he practiced has transformed his ordinary true essence into Zheoyang true essence, which is extremely pure, and will be purified again as the acupoints are opened up. This is also one of the reasons why Su Ba can leapfrog the challenge. I am afraid that the small profound level unparalleled cultivation technique cannot purify Zhuyang true essence, but the increase in the total amount of true essence is a surprise. At this moment, Su Ba's body's real essence is amazingly resilient, and his real essence is pure, but the total amount is still at the level of a 6-star early-stage warrior. If you can increase your total amount of real essence, I am afraid that you will be able to increase your strength by a large amount again. The 7th level of Boundless Gathering Yuan Gong, the increase of the total amount of real essence by 6 times, it is estimated that he can be comparable to the average 6-star peak martial artist with the initial 6-star real essence. The total amount of real energy has gone up, and coupled with his pure and incomparably pure Zhuyang real energy, the effect is outstanding. At that time, even if it is a master martial artist in the middle stage of the 7 stars, the Su Ba 6 stars early stage will be completely true. The farther back the cultivation level is, the difference in the thickness of each realm's true essence is huge. The appearance of Boundless Gathering Yuan Gong has once again strengthened Su Ba's capital to leapfrog challenges. It is good. Very nice. With it, Su Ba is more confident that a month later, in the half-year assessment of the Inner Palace, he will win the championship in one fell swoop. Seeing the joy in Su Ba's eyes, Hu Danqing also smiled slightly. Good apprentice, the exercises that can increase the total amount of true essence are very rare, and those of the profound rank are even rarer. Well, then thank you master. This Boundless Gathering Yuan Gong was an unexpected joy for Su Ba. After accepting the jade slip of the practice method, Su Ba saluted, then, seeing that there was nothing to do, Su Ba said goodbye to Elder Hu and walked out of the Pill Pavilion. 7 days later, an exquisite small building of number 18 Nifu, in a spacious courtyard, Su Ba's figure flashed quickly in it. He is extremely fast. The air was filled with the sizzling sound of electricity passing through everywhere. One after another phantoms constantly moved left and right in the courtyard, making people dazzling. At the back, Su Ba's speed is getting faster and faster, it's like lightning and flint, so that in the end almost the entire small courtyard seems to be surrounded by Su Ba's phantom. The handyman stood far away, looking at this scene, stunned. He has served many geniuses on the list of outstanding people in the inner government, and even the top 10 masters, but he has never seen anyone with such a fast movement technique. Senior brother Su Ba, he's amazing. The handyman muttered to himself. Chapter 95 Crazy, the 8th on the list of outstanding people. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Little Yellow. At this moment, Su Ba stopped and said lightly. I'm coming. The handyman standing far away heard Su Ba calling him, and hurriedly ran over, respectfully handing over the towel and water. Su Ba took a sip of water, then casually wiped the sweat on his forehead and body with a towel, and handed it over to the handyman, looking at him. Xuanhuan, I'll send me a letter of war later, and give it to the masters on the top list. Okay. The handyman was shocked. Senior brother Su Ba really wouldn't stop. It's only been 7 days since he came back from the training, and he's about to reappear again. I don't know which master on the top talent list is going to be unlucky. As for Su Ba's glorious record, basically every disciple in the inner palace now knows very well, Su Ba's name of murderer can be described as thunderous in the inner palace. As soon as he entered the inner palace, he knocked down Lu Niu, who was ranked 33 on the Renjia list, with one punch, and then killed Yuan Tao, who was 28th in the Renjia list, into a dead dog. Immediately, after just 1 month of training, when he came back, he challenged Lu Xiaotian, who was ranked 18th on the Nifu People's Outstanding list and had unmatched defense. The mood of Xiaocheng's shield armor turned him into a human pile. Its popularity is so high that it is fatally catching up with the trend of the top 3 masters of the inner government. You must know that the top 3 disciples in the inner palace are very powerful in the inner palace, and their strength far exceeds that of ordinary geniuses. It is the idol in the minds of many disciples. Excuse me, senior brother Su, who will you give the book to you later? The handyman thought in his heart, and said with a very respectful face. In addition to the top 5, the other 18 or more, whoever is there, just choose which one. Su Ba said casually. Yes, I understand, that the handyman's Adam's apple twitched slightly. What senior brother Su meant by this meant that he was not sure about the top 5, and the other top-ranked masters would definitely be able to win the battle. Horrible. Seeing the figure of the handyman hurriedly leaving with the gauntlet, Su Ba narrowed his eyes and looked calm. After a 7-day retreat, Lei Guangbai had already comprehended a small achievement, and the newly acquired boundless gathering Yuan Gong also successfully completed the first level, and the total amount of true essence increased by 30%. Retreat practice is a bit boring, it's time to find someone to relax. On the same day, Su Ba challenged Quang Guang, who was ranked 15th on the list of outstanding people, causing everyone to exclaim. Su Ba once again showed his cunning intentions. This time, what Su Ba used was Deshang's Great Wilderness. With one stick, Quang Guang was defeated immediately. This is not over yet. Following Quang Guang, on the third day, Su Ba appeared again, challenging Yan Fangchun, who was the 12th man on the list of outstanding people. Still a stick. Deshang Dahuang's cunning intention, coupled with the rolling tide of Zheoyang Xuanhuan, defeated Yan Fangchun. The day after defeating Yan Fangchun, Su Ba challenges Xuanhuan, who is ranked 8th on the top talent list. The great wilderness of consummation amazes the quartet. Xuanhuan admits defeat. The crowd around the audience is almost crazy. Comparable to the great wilderness demon cudgel, which is comparable to the low-grade martial arts of Xuanjia, this Su Ba actually has a perfect artistic conception. Su Ba is only in the early stage of 6 stars. Generally, a disciple may not reach consummation in 2 years. How could he realize it so quickly? It's just not human. In just 10 days or so, Su Ba went straight to number 8 on the list of outstanding people. This climbing speed is really frustrating. Just when everyone was curious, whether Su Ba was going to strike while the iron was hot, ready to hit the top 5, but Su Ba didn't appear again, he fell silent, and stayed behind closed doors, until 20 days later, Yunmeng Wufu, the Inner Palace disciples will be assessed for half a year, and they are here. Chapter 96 The Three Masters of the Inner Palace. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Today, the sun is just right, and there are no clouds. Inner Government Assessment Meeting Point, a man dressed in black, with a thin body and a grim face, with a thick black iron rod on his back, came over. The man in black is not handsome, but his facial features are firm, and there is a vague domineering in his eyebrows that he is the only one who ignores me. In addition, there is a calm like cast, immobile like a mountain, full of the beauty of a man's hardness. When everyone at the meeting point saw the black-clothed man, their faces suddenly showed respect and awe, and they all moved out of the way. Senior Brother Su, you are here. Senior Brother Su, good morning. I've seen Senior Brother Su, that this black-clothed man is exactly Su Ba who came out to participate in the half-year assessment of the Inner Palace after 20 days of seclusion. Today's Su Ba, in Yunmeng Wufu's Inner Palace, is already a man of the year. Secretly, everyone already regards Su Ba as the #1 person in Yunmeng Wufu in the future. After all, Su Ba's talent is too terrifying, even more terrifying than Qin Zhuoyue, the arrogant daughter of Yunmeng Wufu. Moreover, everyone found that although Su Ba acted recklessly and was domineering, he still had a pretty good attitude towards others under normal circumstances. As a result, many ordinary disciples in the Inner Palace gradually let go of their fear of Su Ba and turned into respect and awe, and they would call Senior Brother Su when they met. Inner Government Half-Yearly Assessment. Passing the assessment will reward a lot of Wufu contribution points. It is said that every Inner Palace disciple is required to participate, but it is not strictly enforced. Although the rewards are rich, for some strong men in the Inner Palace, it is just an ordinary level. Therefore, those strong men all depended on their mood to participate in the half-year assessment. Hey, you said that for this half-year assessment, will Senior Wenqian come? I don't know, Senior Brother Wen has not participated in the half-year assessment several times. The reward for passing the assessment is not worth mentioning to Senior Brother Wen, who is number 1 on the list of outstanding talents. Not only senior brother Yuan, King Kong and Song Chen, who are second and third on the list of outstanding talents, didn't come last time, I don't know. Ah, look at everyone, senior brother Yuan is here, suddenly, someone exclaimed. Immediately afterwards, there was a commotion in the crowd, and everyone's eyes became eager, and they all looked in one direction. Su Ba raised his brows and looked over. I saw not far away, a young man with a medium stature but very handsome features was slowly walking towards the meeting point, number 1 in the inner palace, Guangfeng Dao, Wen Tianyu. His footsteps were gentle, but every time he fell, the ground seemed to have faint waves gushing out, and the sword energy swept over. This was the external manifestation of the terrible sword intent in the body, and there was no deliberate restraint. As he gets closer, people change color. Okay, so strong. Senior brother Wen's sword intent has improved a lot. Oh my god, in the usual state, it is in a state of swept away by sword energy. When it comes to fighting, it's worth it. Senior brother Wen is here, and the first place in the assessment must be senior brother Wen, that the crowd exclaimed in amazement. Boom! Boom! This time. Outside the arena, 2 breaths of air erupted again, and there was a faint rivalry with Wen Tianyu. Ah, senior brother King Kong, the second best person on the list, is here. There is also Song Chen, who is the third best person on the list, and he is here too. Unbelievable voices came from all over the place. It seemed that he never expected that this half-year assessment would actually gather the top 3 super masters of the inner palace. Are they all here? In the crowd, Su Ba narrowed his eyes and muttered to himself. It's good to come, lest I end the assessment and have to go to the door one by one. Think, next second. However, Su Ba pushed aside the crowd and strode in the direction of Wen Tianyu. Chapter 97 The first position, it's time to give up. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Su Ba was originally one of the focus figures. At this moment, such a move of his immediately attracted the attention of everyone present. Hey, what is senior brother Su doing? It seems to be walking in the direction of senior brother Wen Tianyu. Yeah, I don't know what senior brother Su Ba is going to do. Is it a challenge? Someone said in surprise. After all, Su Ba is a fighting maniac, and he likes to attack the top masters the most. Damn it, if it's true, then there's a good show to watch. Everyone talked about the period in detail. Su Ba had already come to Wen Tianyu, looked at Wen Tianyu's sharp-edged aura, and said calmly. Senior brother Wen Tianyu, right? I think you've been sitting at the top of the list of outstanding people for a long time. You should be panicking, so let the junior brother sit in your place. Wow! As soon as Su Ba's voice fell, there was an uproar from below. Everyone thought it was one thing, but when Su Ba said it, it was another. Wen Tianyu, who opened his mouth to make the number 1 outstanding person, surrendered the first place, really didn't put everyone in his eyes. After all, Su Ba is now only the 8th rank on the list of outstanding people. Not to mention the first Wen Tianyu, even the second King Kong and the third Song Chen, at present, they are all gaps that everyone cannot overcome. The gap between the top 3 and the other top 10 disciples is really too big. However, this is the murderer they know, Su Ba. Arrogant enough, arrogant enough. Are you the number 1 person in the inner palace in the future who was discussed privately by everyone? That Wen Tianyu's eyes were as sharp as knives, stabbing Su Ba's face in the face, and said coldly, the future will be the first in the inner palace, the future, don't get me wrong, for now, you should stay under my hands and be honest. Hey! Wen Tianyu stretched out his hand, and the sharp knife chi rushed out, directly plowing a deep ditch on the ground, and looked at Su Ba coldly. That's right, kid, don't be too condescending. The second expert on the list of outstanding people on the side, King Kong Tiger glared, took a step forward, and the ground exploded when he stepped on it. Song Chen, the third master, didn't speak, but took a step forward with a sneer at the corner of his mouth. The atmosphere on the field suddenly became tense. Everyone is excited, rely on, amazing. Su Ba opened his mouth and directly detonated the anger of the three masters on the field. It seems that there will be a good show after that. However, Su Ba had already put his words here. If he didn't defeat Wen Tianyu in the end, he would be a little embarrassed. Even if they were defeated by others, it would be even more embarrassing. In a corner, where did the two figures appear silently? One is a white robe, immortal style, and the other is a black outfit, which is not angry and arrogant. It was Hu Danqing and Xiao Bao. Hey, this kid is really brave. He actually dares to challenge Wen Tianyu directly. This little boy Wen Tianyu is not easy. According to the old man's calculation, it is absolutely impossible for Su Ba kid to defeat Wen Tianyu within a month, hee. Xiao Beng watched from a distance when Su Ba provoked Wen Tianyu, and rubbed his chin with a smile. The old thing really wanted to rob my good apprentice. Hu Danqing cursed inwardly, and snorted coldly with no expression on his face. Hey, the surname is Xiao, don't be complacent. Although Su Ba seems arrogant, he still has a certain confidence and measure in his actions. If you want Su Ba to worship you as your teacher, you should give up your mind. Chapter 99 The Voice of Heartbreak. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A long hair like silk and satin floated down like a waterfall, slender eyebrows, and a pair of beautiful eyes seduced the soul. The exquisite Yao nose, the peach cheeks are slightly red, the cherry lips are delicate and dripping, the melon seed face as white as snow is flushed, and the skin that can be broken by blowing is as crisp as snow, and the figure is graceful, which can be called the masterpiece of the Creator. In the arms of the beautiful woman, she also held a puppy that was as white as jade. She is moving lightly towards the assessment meeting point. Goddess Qin Zhouyue, she actually came, it's incredible. Ah, she's coming, she's coming. How can senior sister Qin appear at the meeting point for the half-year assessment of the disciples of the inner palace? It's too strange. Who knows, what are you doing? Senior sister Qin is here. That the inner palace disciples present were all very excited. Qin Zhouyue, in Yunmeng Wufu, it can be said that no one knows everyone, not only because of his perverted martial arts talent, but also because of his beautiful face like a fairy. I don't know how many male disciples of Wufu regard Qin Zhouyue as their dream lover. Even the talented disciples of the Nifu Renjia list are no exception. Qin Zhouyue is so outstanding and beautiful, every frown and smile can affect their minds. Some disciples are working hard to cultivate, and they are somewhat reserved in their hearts to be able to enter the ranks of the 7-star Master Realm Warriors as soon as possible and become the core disciples of the Wufu. In this way, they may be able to see Qin Zhouyue often, although they all know that Qin Zhouyue's arrogant girl is not something they can covet. But who doesn't have some illusions? In case of bad luck, I am fortunate enough to hold the beauty back, right? At this time, Qin Zhouyue walked lightly with lotus steps, and a quiet and light aura exuded from her body made people feel at ease. Everyone watched Qin Zhouyue approaching without blinking, and a heart raised in their throats, looking at Qin Zhouyue's appearance. It seems that he is looking for someone. Who is it? Who is so lucky to have Qin Zhouyue come to him in person? Is it male or female? It should be a girl. After all, they haven't heard of which boy Qin Zhouyue has had a relationship with, at this time. The jade-white puppy Xuanhuan, who was sleeping in Qin Zhouyue's arms, suddenly seemed to sense something and opened its round big black dog eyes. The puppy turned his head and immediately saw a figure in front of him. Xuanhuan. Next second. Xuanhuan looked excited and called out a few times, and then with a swish, it turned into a ball of white light, and rushed forward like lightning. Everyone exclaimed, and before they could react, they saw Qin Zhouyue's exclusive pet, Xuanhuan, already in the arms of another person. The little head was arched, the little tongue stuck out, and the man's face was licked. After seeing who that person was, everyone became petrified. Su Ba, it's actually Su Ba. Everyone gasped and looked at Su Ba with hellish eyes. They know that Qin Zhouyue's exclusive pet Xuanhuan, but the king-level spirit beast, the white wolf Xuanhuan dog pup, although cute, but the personality is difficult for ordinary people to get close to except the owner. If you dare to touch it, it will bite you and your mother doesn't even know it. But why? This Xuanhuan is so kind to Su Ba, and it has a faint hint of flattery and cuteness, unless Su Ba has a good relationship with the original owner. Other than that, they can't think of any other reason. Could it be that Qin Zhuoyue and Su Ba can't? The male disciples can't believe it, and this time, Qin Zhuoyue came closer. She looked at Su Ba and smiled. Junior brother Su, long time no see. Long time no see, senior sister Qin. Su Ba looked at Qin Zhuoyue and smiled lightly. Click. In an instant, vaguely around, as if hearing a large voice of heartbreak. Chapter 100 Inner Palace Assessment, Start. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Qin Zhuoyue and Su Ba really knew each other, and a male disciple was crying in his heart. How did you come? Su Ba didn't know what the other disciples were thinking, but looked at Qin Zhuoyue and smiled lightly. Qin Zhuoyue smiled and said, I came out of retreat and was about to go to Heavenly China's Wolf Warrior Mansion to find someone to learn from. I happened to pass by here and came to say hello when I saw you. Why, aren't you welcome? How come? My pleasure. Su Ba smiled lightly, but there was a move in his heart. Qin Zhuoyue would not run so far for no reason to find someone to learn from. Could it be that he went to challenge the top masters of the Three Kingdoms elite list? Like him, Qin Zhuoyue is loyal to martial arts and is likely to challenge the stronger. Okay, I'll leave if I have nothing to do. Today is the half-year assessment of the inner government, right? I look forward to your performance. That is required. While Su Ba was talking, he felt Xuanhuan in his arms being coquettish and cute, and laughed a little, knowing that this little thing must be thinking about his dog food. Without hesitation, he took out a little dog food from the storage space to feed Xuanhuan, and Xuanhuan was so excited that he couldn't find the north. Well, senior sister Qin, didn't you want to see this thing before? I've already studied it, so I'll give you some. On the way to hand Xuanhuan to Qin Zhuoyue, Su Ba also took some dog food and put it in her hand in an elixir bottle. Qin Zhuoyue has a good character, and the heart of martial arts also has an appetite for Su Ba, and Su Ba still appreciates it very much anyway. He has enough dog food, and it is acceptable to give some. After all, he likes Xuanhuan very much. Thanks. Qin Zhuoyue was a little surprised, but there was still a flash of joy in her beautiful eyes. Facing Su Ba with a gentle smile, he turned around and left. After Qin Zhuoyue left, Su Ba clearly felt that in the eyes shot at him, in addition to awe and admiration, there were also a lot of jealous and envious glances. In this regard, Su Ba's expression did not change. As the saying goes, not being envied is mediocrity. Just at this time, in the four directions of the meeting point of the inner government, a magnificent bell rang, followed by a voice. Inner government assessment, time is up, start now. The deacon in charge of the inner palace assessment strode forward and led the crowd to an open space. In the open space, hundreds of heavy bronze bells have been placed, and each bronze bell is as tall as one person and weighs thousands of pounds. The dense arrangement alone creates a sense of oppression for no reason. The inner government assessment is very simple, with a total of 3 assessments. The first level is to measure the force of the element, the second level is to measure the speed, and the third level is to measure the actual combat. At this time, what everyone is facing is the first level, measuring Yuanli. The so-called measuring Yuan force is to detect the thickness of the true essence of the martial artist. Generally speaking, ordinary inner palace disciples can lift up to 10 bronze bells, and those who can lift more than 20 bronze bells are geniuses. The first one, Zhirong, the disciple whose name was called, came out of the line with a slightly nervous expression. After taking a deep breath, his chest was agitated, and then a mouthful of true essence was spit out from his mouth, winding around the bronze bell like a white string. The first copper bell swayed and levitated, then came the second mouth, the third mouth. At the fifth mouth of the bronze bell, the disciple's face was obviously flushed, and he was a little powerless. Finally, he tried his best to improve again, and finally exhausted, and sat on the ground. Dong dong dong, the 6 bronze bells fell one after another. Take the bell for 6, pass, next. Hearing this, the disciple breathed a sigh of relief. If you reach the level of 6 bronze bells, you are qualified. If you pass the assessment, you will be fine. Otherwise, if you fail the assessment for 2 consecutive half years, the monthly salary of the disciples in the inner palace will be greatly reduced.